What are you looking for?
The thing for the antenna.
It's there. Alright, so today we're going to install a double DIN radio in my cousin's 2003 Toyota Camry. Stick around and enjoy the video. So the stuff that you're going to need is obviously the radio itself. You're going to need, if you want this to be a flawless install, I do recommend getting a, adapter harness. This will plug into the original harness that's in the car and have split wires so you can connect the radio harness to this without having to mess with the original harness that's in the car. And in order to do that, we're going to be splicing them and then putting on these butt connectors. These are the female end, and then the other end will get the male connection. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute.
I tried.
Alright, so the process is pretty simple. You just color match the wires to the corresponding wire that's on the radio harness. So red to red, yellow to yellow, etc. Yeah. So with these pliers too, it's a lot easier to cut the wire on that harness, because these, if you see, these are already pre-cut.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is just rip off the insulation. With those, it's gonna be a lot.
I don't know how this works.
It's gonna be a lot easier to cut them with this tool. Just gotta make sure.
Bro, you should have made sure they were different.
They are. I checked. So yeah, because it has to be able to fit this in there.
Yeah.
So these. So then the connectors that we have, like I said, one's a female, one's a male. So then when we go for the final installation, when we go to plug them in together, they'll snap right into place and have a nice snug connection. There's no way this is gonna come off inside the car, even if he rides on the craziest bumps. This will have a stable connection. So now that once you have the wires color coordinated and matched up, you're ready to move on to installing it into the car. Alright, so now moving towards the inside of the car, first thing you want to do is take off any trim panels that are going to be in the way. So for this car, we have the climate control knobs that are going to have to be removed first, and then this top trim piece has to come off. So yep, on this car the climate control has to come off. So on the back here, you're going to see a couple of tabs. Pinch the release tab up here. You're going to pinch that and then pull up to get that to release. And the same thing with this one. Pinch it. And now we can move this out of the way. Set that up there. And then for this car, there's going to be 4 10mm, 2 up here in the front, and then 2 more. See one back there. The other one's going to be back there, and on the other side also, it's going to be right in there. Take those out, and then you'll be able to remove this top trim piece as well as the radio, and then after that you're going to uninstall the radio from the trim piece and then install the new radio with the dash kit. So now we're going to come up here to the top, and on the top here you'll see a connector that plugs into the clock. The release tab is on the bottom in the middle of the connector. You're going to want to pinch up, force up the tab, and then pull back to release it. So now this will move forward and give you more space to unplug the antenna. On this car, it only has a single antenna, and the connectors for the radio itself. Same thing, there's a tab in the middle. It's a little tricky, but you're going to want to pinch it up and release it that way. Same with the blue one, pinch it up and release it. There you go. Now you have the dash apart. R.I.P. R.I.P. to the old radio. So once you have it apart this way, you're gonna want to force the two top corners and push it inwards to release it from the tabs that connect to these two plastic pieces up here. And once you do that, the radio should be free. So always do your research, right? I messed up and we got the wrong connector. The original one that we got was this one. This is for different Toyota models. The one that we needed is a two-piece because the radio has two connectors that goes into it, and this single one was not gonna cut it. So we had to go back to the auto parts store and get the one that's two-piece. Make sure you do your research, or if you have to, open up your car before you even buy any parts, because you don't want to have to keep going back to the store and wasting more time like we did. So yeah, we're gonna have to continue to do the splicing on this end of the harness, of the adapter harness, and then cut up these on the radio harness itself. So yeah, anytime you do an installation like this, you always want to make sure that you check your work. So one good way to do this is have everything plugged up and then turn on the car to accessory power. You always want to make sure that it powers on. And then once it's powered on, you're obviously going to be able to make sure that you have the antenna hooked up, and then you should be able to hear sound. So there you go. So yeah, basically everything you're going to want to do in reverse order. Make sure that you double, triple, quadruple check your connections to make sure that all the speakers are coming out with sound, and also make sure that when you plug in, you get power to the radio, obviously. And then after that, you just put everything back in reverse order and enjoy your new radio. So as you can see here, we have the radio installed, everything's working fine, and we even have the microphone hooked up so that we can make phone calls through the radio. So I'd say that we had a successful install. Go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, do all that. Until the next one, guys, I'll see you later. Deuce.